So, what's this? What's this here? What's this? Right, there's been a lot of backwards and forwards about Batman in the DCU, hasn't there? There was a recent interview, actually, with Christopher bloody Nolan, Jesus, Matt Reeves, where Matt Reeves played much coy. Actually, he played much coyer, and it led to a lot of speculation. He was like, "Oh, I don't know what the future holds. Could Robert Pattinson be in there? Yeah, I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know what the future holds." But it was really quite an unusually, sort of political based answer. It was neither committal, or non-committal either. But Andy Muschietti has basically just come out and been like, "No, it's not happening." Andy Muschietti is of course the director of this Batman Brave and Bold for DCU. But then there's been some nonsense between James Gunn and Andy Muschietti. I don't know if you guys know about this. So Andy Muschietti came out and was like, "Yeah, my movie's delayed." That was a headline grabber for a while. And then James Gunn came out and was like, "It's not delayed." And everyone was like, "What the fuck? What is going? What? The director's just said it's delayed." And then the CEO of the company's like, "No, it's not delayed." It's like, okay, well, which is it then, mate? Anyway, it's just nonsense. But I wanted to...
It's not delayed if it's canceled.
Well, yeah, true. I just think I say that because it just illustrates how there's clearly a disconnect going on within DC, basically. But anyway, what's this, right? So it says here, it sounds like James Gunn has created a big mess at DC, as now Andy Muschietti fires back and says his Batman is the DCU Dark Knight and separate from Robert Pattinson and the Matt Reeves universe. So just real quick, this article outlines the backstory. What happened is when James Gunn first announced the DCU, Andy Muschietti was announced on Brave and Bold, featuring Batman and his son Damian Wayne, which I think is a dumb thing to start with, but fine. Gunn said the Brave and the Bold script wasn't ready, insinuating he wasn't happy with it. Rumors came out that Gunn wanted Robert Pattinson as the DCU Batman. In an interview, Gunn confirmed it has at least been discussed. Said it's like literally on the table. Nothing's off the table, is what he said. Following that, in a recent interview, Andy Muschietti said the Brave and Bold has been postponed and he's going to be working on another movie. And James Gunn said that's not the case, which was just weird. Then it was announced Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, Batman had been delayed as well. So it's this weird thing. And everyone was like, well, it just sounds like that's to rework Robert Pattinson into the DCU then. Fairly logical leaps to make. It's not like, we're jumping across an Olympic-sized, stadium here. Like, they're fairly logical leaps to make. Matt Reeves then appeared on the Golden Globes on Sunday, was asked about his Batman. And Reeves, seemed against the idea but open to it. And now Andy Muschietti did another interview where he said he's still involved with the Brave and the Bold. And Muschietti actually said the reason for the Brave and the Bold being postponed is so that it doesn't get released the same time as Reeves, the Batman Part 2. So he says there is a Batman that, as everyone knows, will belong to the new DCU. This is his words. Matt Reeves' Batman is pretty clearly not part of this new universe. However, Warner and DC are continuing with the second part of Reeves' Batman. The second part, as everyone knows, has also been delayed to 2027. As something like that, The Brave and the Bold, will take some time before it comes out. It would be absurd to release two Batman movies at the same time. What DC is doing is working on a plan so that the two movies don't overlap. As for my participation in the movie, for now, there are good intentions. There are intentions. They want me to do it. I want to do it. I want to make a movie. That doesn't even sound like he's officially signed on anymore. So, look, there's the news. He's confirmed, no, Robert Pattinson isn't the DCU Batman, whilst also making out like he's not even confirmed for the bloody movie anymore. It's like, I've got some good intentions. There are intentions. It's like, mate, I've got intentions to wake up tomorrow. It doesn't mean I'm gonna, right? Like, I might not. Who knows? I've got intentions to, I don't know, cook a bacon sandwich. I might not. Who knows? That's a bad example. I can't think of one. I'm tired. But the point is, intentions are meaningless. Like, am I going to make videos tomorrow? Yes, I am, 100%. There's no intentions to do it. I'm going to do it. It's a weird thing to say. It's a really weird thing to say. And that's the news. That's the news. Kelly jokey. Morbid much. I know, look, mate, I'm sorry. It was a real bad example. All right, I'm soz. All right, I'm soz. All right,
I don't know. I was fine with
die tomorrow.
I was fine with I was fine with the bacon sandwich thing. I thought that was cool.
I still might die though.
No, you won't.
It is true, I might. I thought I was going to die the last few days. Anyway, no, I genuinely did. Yeah, so thoughts?
So I've covered this pretty extensively on my channel and on that Park Place because I think there's something fishy going on here. All of a sudden, it comes out that neither Batman the Brave and the Bold nor the Batman 2, not just that they're delayed, neither of these movies even have a script yet. It was confirmed that Matt Reeves' Batman 2 does not have a script. That to me, with a 5-year lead, basically a 5-year gap between these movies, shows me something screwy is going on. Now, what do we know about Warner Brothers? It is a reactionary studio. And whenever Warner Brothers gets the slightest win, the first question you have to ask about that is, how will they screw this up? What is the wrong lesson that they're going to learn from whatever insignificant win that they've received? They're going to take the success of the Penguin, and I think they're going to be like, well, people like this Batman. That's just got to be Batman. He's going to be Batman. Because then on the other hand, you look at Andy Muschietti and the Batman. What's the last thing Andy Muschietti directed for Warner Brothers? The Flash. One of the biggest bombs in the history of superhero movies. I'm telling you, this screams Warner Brothers studio interference. And I personally don't think I think James Gunn wants the Brave and the Bold. I think James Gunn wants his own Batman, wants his own Damian Wayne. I think that's what James Gunn wants. I think James Gunn and Warner Brothers brass are button heads behind the scenes. And that's why it's been so we also saw Creature Commandos, the animated series, episode 6. Well, we didn't see it because nobody watched it. But the DCU Batman made his first official appearance in that episode, and they shrouded him in complete shadow. And James Gunn said originally there was a much clearer picture of him, but he told them, hey, I'm not ready to commit to that yet. More silhouette, more silhouette, more silhouette, which to me means they probably made him look more like whatever concept art is floating around of the Brave and the Bold Batman. And now they're like, hold on a minute, guys. We don't know if this is what we're doing. I think there's a lot of things up in the air right now. Warner Brothers is in a blind panic about DC. And I personally think a lot of it is going to come down to how Superman does.
He's come out and said categorically there is no DC without Superman being a success.
Well, yeah, Batman is the most popular DC hero. I mean, I'm a Superman guy. That's my favorite superhero. But I can admit Batman is the most popular hero in DC. So you'd think that a Batman film would be priority 1 for James Gunn in the DC universe. But now we have 2 Batman films in production. Neither of them has a script. They've been in production for several years. What's going on? That's the question that has to be asked. And it's Warner Brothers, so it could literally be anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. Not one bit. One bit. It's just a complete shit.
I, on the other hand, believe that they are non-committal, and they are non-committal on a lot of these projects. I fall in line with what Marvin was leading to, I think, in the fact that any of these things can fall apart at any time. And DC is known for taking the wrong lesson out of pretty much any success they have. So, which is why we ended up with a Peacemaker series that got more than one season. It's why we ended up with a second or third chance at a Suicide Squad, or and any of these other things that they've done along the way, whether it be in the old regime or the new one. I think that pointing out that Andy Muschietti did a terrible job with The Flash is just the beginning of the problems here. The fact that Gunn said publicly that it was the best comic book superhero movie. Yeah, I get confused in both, but ever. And I'm going, you realize nobody will now believe you on anything that you say. You now are basically James Mangold at this point, you freaking idiot. So,
Can't
you
believe
know,
the dipper,
when you look at this, you know, you're like, we don't know what Batman we're going to get. We don't know what we don't know if we're going to get Brave and the Bold. We don't know if we're going to get any of the things he's talked about aside from the things they've actually made. And I think the only thing that you can count on, and I think this is what Marvin was alluding to, if I'm not mistaken, and Marvin, correct me if I'm wrong, but we won't know until Superman's done what the next Batman looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing we know is coming after Superman is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, with
the all cock,
with Momoa as Lobo.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that they've announced, and that was supposed to come a lot later. And that's Tom King infected from top to bottom.
Well, they're filming that now.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's going to be an absolute disaster. I like the girl that's playing Supergirl, but yeah, you'd think when you're launching a DC universe, you announce Superman, you announce Batman, you announce Wonder Woman. That's your core. That's the trinity. That is the trinity at the heart of the entire DC universe. And we've only got a Superman announcement, and we've got things like Creature Commandos and Amanda Waller and Peacemaker. It's ridiculous. They're focusing on all the wrong areas. Marvel at least focused on Iron Man, the Hulk, Thor, and Captain America before spinning off into things like Guardians of the Galaxy. You had to establish brand loyalty and trust before you went off into those other more lesser known characters. Right now, DC will say we're going to do a Batman movie, and the majority of people are going to go, well, that's probably going to suck, because they have no trust. There's no brand loyalty anymore.
Well, if let's say you brought Christopher Nolan back in, I think you'd have a different conversation. But the fact that they decided to lead up or follow up with all the cock you possibly want in Supergirl, you know, I'm sure that's going to be a huge hit.
We'll see. Well, there you go. Batman news, guys. Not really. Well, it is news, kind of not news. We'll have to see what happens. But we will shuffle on from that now.